Hello and welcome. My name is Axel Pfannenstiel, and this is a playthrough with commentary of my portfolio piece, The Bridge. This level takes place in Tom Clancy's The Division universe on the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Starting off, we reveal the player's landmark being the bridge's tower. After a short bit of walking, we enter the first combat space. This combat space includes two strafing enemies. This first encounter allows the player to ease into combat. A powerful sniper enemy positioned on the high ground encourages the player to use their drone's first mechanic, self-destruction. After yet another short bit of walking, we use the drone for a second time, this time in a more strategic way, scouting the enemies and formulating a plan before entering combat. Here an exploding barrel blows up. It also destroys the player's perceived way across. This gave the player a nice break to stop and think. Turning around, we see a blinking exit sign, revealing another way across. This space beneath the bridge helps break up the experience visually and also gives the player a sense of scale. Here we introduce the problem being the blocked path before the solution being the drone, introducing the concept that drones can destroy tanks. Here we remind the player of the landmark being the bridge tower. This next combat space begins with the drone. The player can scout all they want and tag all enemies before picking a target to explode. After that, low refuge forces the player to the flanking lane. This lane leads to a connected space with higher prospect and refuge. Here the player can eliminate the remaining enemies. After a short bit of traversal space, we finally reveal the player's objective. Destroy the large yellow tank using your drone. Here again we break up the level by having the player go beneath the bridge again. This combat space was meant to break up the encounters that we saw before. This is a much tighter combat space with no drone to use. After defeating these enemies, the player deploys the drone, tags the enemies and builds an expectation for the space before ramming into the large tank. The bridge now collapses, moving covers down and reveals a flanking lane the player quickly has to reach before the sniper takes them out. Now the player has higher prospect and refuge, which allows the player to eliminate the sniper. The player has made their way around the enemies and now has the high ground. Turning around, the player faces the last two enemies. After a bit of climbing, the extraction helicopter arrives and the player escapes. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any further inquiries, you can reach me via my email axel@pfannenstiel.se.